Today I'm going to be showing you guys how to change oil in your car. Pretty simple. First thing steps, if you want to pull into the garage, you can. If you have a garage, if not, all it really needs to be is on try to find level ground. That has to be perfectly level. Just try level so when you jack it up, it's safe. First step after that, you want to go inside. Most cars, if you're in a car, most time they'll be this right here. You want to pull this little lever right here. I don't know if you got a hole, you guys can see it. It's dark in here. Just to pop the hood, come up, depending on your make, model, year. Let me walk up here. On this, I'm using a Ford Fusion. It says this is a little lever right here. So I'm gonna pull that to the left, pop the hood. Pretty simple. And then you want to take your hood strut right here, and you want to find your hole in your hood. In my case, it's right there. You just want to slide this in, pull it forward so it's stable. And that's it. And then next, we'll jack up the car. Okay, next, it's always a good idea, whether you're in flat ground or level ground or not, you want to take chalk, in my case, just a piece of wood, and you want to put it under your back tire. Get a nice little kick so you know it doesn't go anywhere to help prevent the car from moving. Okay, next, you want to take your jack, find your factory jacking location. Mine, it's right there. Right there's my factory jacking location. All cars will be different. You want to find that before you try to jack it up, just to be on the safe side. You don't want to accidentally cause damage to your car while doing it. Okay, with your car jacked up, you want to slide your catch can, oil catch can under there, and you look for the drain plug. Mine, it's right here in the back, where my finger's at. It's pretty simple. Most of the time they'll always be on the lowest part of the engine. And you just gotta break that loose to drain the oil. And I'll do that now. Okay, now with the drain out, you can see the oil draining. And a good little tip is, one, you should warm up your engine a little bit, but not really hot, just enough to get the oil thinner, because oil is thinner when it's warm, thicker when it's cold. So if the engine's warmed up a little bit, run for like a minute before you do it. If you're moving to a garage, that's plenty enough time. And another good trip while you're doing it is to go ahead and remove the oil fill cap while you're doing it. Sometimes it helps the oil drain fast. Okay, with the oil pretty much all the way drained, I'm going to stick my drain plug back in. Okay, and then with that step done, you want to take the oil filter off, which in my case, I don't know if you can see that or not. It looks like you can see it a little bit. It's just right there. Nice front center of the engine on this one. Very convenient. And I'm going to use a oil filter wrench. I know some people use the pliers. I like the wrench better just because if in narrower spaces like this one where the oil line's right around it, it makes it easier to get to. But that's just a personal preference. As long as the oil filter comes off, it doesn't really matter. Oil filter out, you want to go ahead and get your new one. And just compare, make sure they're the same. In my case, they are, of course. And then also, a good tip is when you take your old one out, make sure it still has this little gasket that's on it, because sometimes they tend to stick to the block where you take it off at. And if that does, and you accidentally double stack them, it can cause a blowout in the gaskets, and it causes an oil leak. And if you don't catch it immediately, it could cause damage, will cause significant damage to your engine. So just make sure you're doing that when you're doing it. Okay. Now with this, you want to go ahead and take a little bit of oil, and you want to oil up the gasket so it doesn't rip when you put it on the engine, and go ahead and fill up your oil filter. In my case, if your oil filter goes down sideways like this, you don't have to fill it all the way up, because you'll dump some of it out trying to get it in there, but just like halfway or 3/4 if you can. Now the oil filter's back in. Now is the time to finish tightening up the drain plug if you haven't already. And you need to make sure you do that before you put oil in it. Otherwise you just drain it all out, waste some money. And when you tighten the oil filter, It does not need to be stupid tight. Just get it hand tight, and then I do hand tight, and then take your filter wrench or your filter pliers, whatever you got, and go about a half turn is all you need. You do not need to tighten that down incredibly tight because you just don't need to. Now, when the car's on the ground, you can take your funnel, place it in your oil fill hole to prepare for putting the oil in. You get filled up. The easiest way to do it is just look at your manufacturer's recommended amount. You just fill it up there. Use a dipstick, check the oil, make sure it's in between the oil lines, and then you can do once over under the check to make sure there's no oil leaks. And then you want to go ahead and start up your car. And when you start up the car, want to make sure you look under it again to make sure there is indeed no oil leaks. And then if there's not, after you let the car run for 10-15 seconds or so, and then you are done and you're good. Hopefully that helped, guys, and you have a wonderful day.